Good evening, Lake Orion. Man, you guys can't get enough of me as your host. Well, I'm hosting again this week, and I am between Taorminas. Hello, everyone. How's it going? How's life treating y'all? Hope it's going well. Mine's going well. Sammy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, you know. See, Ian's not here again.
Yeah, Ian's not here this week. Got a big football review show coming up on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, can't wait for it.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
All right, we got some topics to discuss. We've got a little bit of Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
We've got your favorite team, the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're putting the gloves on early.
Yes.
And then also you've got Penn State football, some situation with the appeals, and also some jersey changes.
Yep.
And then we've got some call-outs.
Yep.
Okay, let's get started. First with the Tigers. Obviously, big series with New York. Coming up, you got Texas.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think about the Tigers right now?
Well, I think they're right now catching fire at the right time with the their winning streak, you know what I mean, at home. Let's look at New York. They're 24 and 28 at Comerica Park since it opened. You know, so this makes it really interesting here with the
That could change, obviously.
That could change, obviously, but I still think if you look at it here, the Tigers right now going the right direction. Cabby's been hot. Prince has been hot. I mean, like, they're right now okay right now.
They swept Cleveland the other day.
Yep.
That was big. What do you think about the significance of that series? Obviously,
well, Sunday pretty much was everything you needed to know about that because, you know, the Tigers were down. I think they were down 5.
3 runs.
They were down 5. They were down 5 runs in the bottom of the 10th inning, and then you look at they just come back and put 5 on Chris Perez just to win. You know, I mean, like. Take back, you were right. It was 3 runs. It was but
still the significance.
It's a significant win because that I think is going to help the Tigers in the long haul. And right now, it's showing dividends. Right now, I think they're going to catch Chicago. I just don't think that Chicago is that. You know what I mean? Got Sale, Peavy. You know what I mean? Peavy lost the other night. I mean, like, and then of course you know Sale. I see a lot of experts are comparing Sale's stuff to Verlander's. I don't think it's any close. Because the Tigers can rock Sale.
Do you think that now, obviously being a 2-team race now, obviously the Tigers are doing this against New York, against, you know, Cleveland, obviously taking Cleveland out. But, I mean, the Tigers are putting up very impressive numbers against a very good New York Yankees team.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Well, this is against New York's top lineup because, like, you got Sabathia, you got Nova, you got Hughes, and then of course you got Kuroda. I think that if the Tigers are doing this, just wait till they get to Texas. You know what I mean? Like
that obviously
they're going to be. I think they can rock Texas's bullpen. You know what I mean? And starting pitching. I think that if the Tigers continue rolling, I think they could take 2 or 3 against Texas.
Do you also think because Chicago is playing Kansas City, obviously a lot of experts feel that would be a very easy series for Chicago?
Well, they got Oakland next as well because, like, if you
Oakland's
look,
an
up-and-coming team. But I think that if the Tigers are playing a really dangerous schedule right now, and of course I looked at the other schedules. You know what I mean? The Tigers and Chicago. Chicago still got to play Tampa Bay. Both teams still got to play Baltimore. But the
Angels.
The tough stretch for the Tigers have got to play 6 games against L.A., 1 series at home and 1 series on the road. That's not going to be easy.
And usually there's some bad blood too between the Tigers and the Angels as well.
Especially with Jared Weaver.
Jared Weaver obviously didn't pitch the last series against the Tigers, but obviously there's some bad blood there.
Oh yeah, I mean there is. I mean but but right now the focus has got to be on Chicago. If the Tigers can catch Chicago, I think that with the way that they're playing, it's going to be a great race. I think one of those teams is going to win the Central, and I think one's going to be in the wild card.
So you don't think that the 3 teams in the wild card, like with the Angels, the Athletics,
it'll be Oakland or Anaheim. I think it's going to take one of the other 2 spots. I just don't think Baltimore has enough to make the playoffs.
So you don't think? But obviously, one guy, Miguel Cabrera,
yes,
unbelievable streak as far as hitting home runs. He is playing lights out. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Cabby's doing a very good job. I think this what I said earlier on this topic. I mean, Miguel Cabrera is as good as where the Tigers go. Him and Prince are carrying this team right now, and then of course you got all the other players. You got Bosch is starting to hit. Peralta, but the guy who I think's been huge is hitting .545 since he came back has been Andy Dirks. I think Andy Dirks has been the key to this surge, and of course the pitching has gotten better. Verlander's gotten better. Fister's gotten better. Sanchez has played a really good game, pitched a really good game. I mean, and then
Scherzer,
of course. Scherzer's ERA is a little bit elevated. That's the concern.
But obviously, the thing about Andy Dirks coming back. Andy Dirks came back during very crucial situations, in that he's been a big help. Do you expect this production going forward from Tigers not named Austin Jackson, Cabrera, or Fielder?
Yes, I do. I expect it to happen. They'll get it fixed, you know what I mean? But we'll just see what happens.
My question is the production. And I'm talking about, are they going to have the continued production?
I think they will. But, we don't know who's going to step up.
Well, obviously, we've seen Peralta step up. We've seen Bosch step up.
I think Rayburn will be gone.
You think Rayburn will be gone?
Yes, now I do now.
So you do think Rayburn will be gone?
Yes.
So now you're contradicting yourself about Ryan Rayburn.
Sadly, yes.
What do you tell Glenn Miller then now?
I don't know. I can't explain.
So you can't. So going forward, we've got, obviously it's now a 2-team race between the Tigers and the White Sox. Obviously, the Indians, thanks to the Tigers, are now out of the race. And if you look at the Tigers' schedule, they got Cleveland, they got Minnesota, they've got Kansas City at the end.
Yep.
Do you like the Tigers' chances?
I think I do because they got to play. They got a very good capability. They're a good enough team, I think, to take care of everything. Chicago still got to play. Their schedule late's going to be really difficult.
So you think Chicago's reign of terror in the AL Central is not?
It'll be over. It'll be over real soon.
Okay. Well, I also think that the Tigers are going to get back on top of the Central, and I think that and hopefully it'll be for good. I'm expecting it'll be for good, but we'll have to see. Yeah. All right. When we come back, we will talk about a little fighting in the football ring. We'll be back on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
We want a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I paid for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
We are back on ONTV. Sam, that was a good topic on the Tigers.
Interesting topic, yeah.
Now we got to do a little bit of fighting here with one of your favorite teams.
My favorite, Jets, Jets, ouch!
That'd be a good introduction to this topic. Lately, we've had lately in New York, there's been a lot of fighting going on between players going on behind the scenes. Obviously, the hype in New York has been about
Tebow mania.
Tim Tebow.
I like Tim Tebow. I do like him. I like him.
But anyways, what do you think about this fighting?
Well, I think it's sometimes it happens during in a training camp where you just see like, you know, it's normal in a camp. You know what I mean? Like, but this is New York. This is Rex Ryan. You know what I mean? You got you know, I mean, like, you got, like, all the fighting, you know what I mean, all the shoving, you know what I mean? I don't know. Where's Rex Ryan in this case? You know what I mean here? Because Rex Ryan just basically laid down the law the other day in the second practice. I mean, like, making his team run gassers, suicides, you know what I mean, like that.
Do you think the NFL needs to step in and discipline?
No.
Why?
No, because it's a team issue. This is a team issue. This isn't a league issue.
So when we talked about the jailbird issue, because you know about fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting is not allowed. Fighting can actually be a crime.
Yes.
So, I mean, so you're saying that this is just a squabble and that no investigation needs to be occurred or anything like that?
There's no investigation needs to occur. It's just like some people's, you know, they were frustrated, you know what I mean? Like, they just did, like, pushing and shoving. I mean, like,
but these were actual punches going on, and players had to restrain them. And did you notice something? Tim Tebow was not involved in any of them.
Well, he got
You know why he's not involved in it? Because the media wants to protect him because he's Tim Tebow.
Well, you know, he's being a teammate here. Tim Tebow is being an actual teammate here. I mean, like, if you look at it here with you know, he even tried to restrain it. Where was Mark Sanchez in all this? Where was he? You know, I mean, like, if he wants to be a team leader, then where is he at during the fight? You asked me that question. Tim Tebow was there to try to help break it up. But where was Mark Sanchez?
The thing is, why haven't the players had a players-only meeting to address this issue?
I don't know why, and that's inexcusable.
Who is the leader on New York? Who is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be Sanchez, or is it supposed to be Tebow?
It's supposed to be Sanchez.
The media wants it to be Tebow.
Yeah, media wants to be Tebow, but in that team, it's clearly Mark Sanchez.
But it should not be either one of them. It should be one of the defensive linemen, or it should be one of the offensive linemen.
It should be Revis or Bart Scott. I mean, like...
Yeah, I think Revis would be a better leader. Though Revis did hold out for a time.
Yeah, but I also think, you know, Mark Sanchez is the leader of that team. If you look at what, you know, a lot of people in New York have been bashing him because of inaccuracies. But he has to take a leader. And you know who else has got to be a leader? Rex Ryan, the head coach of the Jets. You got to see here, this was his team, his guys here in New York. If you look at what he's done, he hasn't, you know, he's done like a little punishment, but where was he in the first one? He let him off the fair warning. These are paid professionals here that are fighting. These aren't little kids. Now, the Lions is a whole other problem
because they're actually going to prison.
Yeah.
This is issue. No offense, but their issues have been with the law and the crime. This should be a matter that should be investigated.
This is a team issue. If you look at it here with the all these teams, they have fights. You know what I mean? These teams have fights.
I know every team has fights.
But
because this is New York, everything's gonna be, you know, you've got your media. Paparazzi, you got the media there. You mean, all because of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is not above the team. And people want to say that he is.
No, he's not above the team. Tim Tebow tries to say, like, I'm not above the team, but we all know eventually that he is. He's eventually going to be playing in that starting role in New York. You know, I think New York's an 8-8 football team this season.
Do you think the Jets make the playoffs?
No.
No?
No.
Do you think the fighting has a lot to do with it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Jets don't make the playoffs. If you look at it here, I think the AFC North is really tough. You got Cincinnati, I think, could be a playoff team. You got Baltimore. You got Pittsburgh, you know, of course.
Black and yellow.
I don't know how New York is going to survive in the division because you got Buffalo's in there who's better.
Yep,
you got New England's in there that's better. You know, I think
New England's team to beat.
I think New England's the team to beat. Yeah, but I think Buffalo is the second best team in the AFC East, and I think that the Jets are the third best team. I don't think the Jets are going to make the playoffs.
I do think that I can agree with you about that. I don't think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. I do think that there's too much circus going around in New York.
It is a circus.
It really
and Rex
is.
Ryan is one of the main reasons why it's a circus.
You know who else is? Tim Tebow. Because of all the media
Him and
that
Mark
comes
Sanchez, how are they going to get along?
They say they get along great, but I mean,
are you sure?
I think the press wants
Tebow
wants as quarterback.
Disaster. Press wants disaster. You know what? Screw the press. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. You know what I mean? Just do what's best for the football team.
If only if that was the case.
I wish it was. But I guess it's life.
Any final thoughts?
Well, I think that, if you look at it here, the best team in New York in football is the New York Football Giants because they're the Super Bowl champions.
My final thoughts is this, and I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me, but I think the hype that Tim Tebow brings, I'm not questioning Tim Tebow the person. He's certainly a great person, proud Christian. But the hype surrounding Tim Tebow is going to destroy the New York
He can't run a pro-style
Jets
offense either. They're putting him in these wildcat formations. I mean, he cannot run a pro-style offense. Look at what Denver had to do. They had eventually had to play a spread-style offense because of that.
Yeah, I do think that Tebow, the hype of him, is going to destroy the New York Jets.
Yes.
Okay, as we return, we're going to talk a little bit of Penn State. Some interesting news coming out of Happy Valley, and also some call-outs here on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
We want a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I paid for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas on ONTV. Sam, that was a great, passionate topic.
Well, that's the Jets. Boy, that's Rex Ryan for you.
Well, there's been some developments that went on in Happy Valley. Two things have happened. Well, actually three. Remember, because Penn State's preseason practices have started.
Right. Yep.
Number two, also you've got the issue with the uniforms, how they're going to change. And number three, you've got the appeals process. I'll discuss that one first because of 7 players are going to be filing or going to attempt to file an appeal with the NCAA.
This ain't going to work. This will not work because
the Paterno family
tried it first. I mean, it didn't work. How is this going to work? You ask me how is this going to work.
I mean, try to appeal the sanctions.
This ain't going to work.
You don't think it's not going to work?
No, this won't work.
Because of what reason?
Because if you look at what Penn State, you know what I mean, what the
Paterno
family tried to do this once to try to appeal the sanctions. That ain't going to work here.
You can't sanction anyone in the
Can't sanction anyone in the NCAA. I mean, they're going to question that the president had the authority of the full board to do it. That's what I want to know. And if he didn't have it, then the NCAA, then Penn State would not have done this in the first place.
The NCAA pretty much said hands down that when it comes to sanctions, they don't allow appeals.
Right. And
so now so 7 players are going to try
This is going to get ugly before it starts.
Are going to try to either sue the NCAA or try to appeal the vacating of the wins.
Where are you going to sue them in a federal court?
Well, the thing is they're going to try to get back the wins that Joe Paterno had from 1998 to 2011. That obviously was a very sensitive discussion, especially because of how that was part of the questioning of the NCAA's decision against Penn State.
Well, they got to get credibility on them. You know what I mean? Where's the you got to get another side of the story. You know what I mean? What would you put? Would you take the free report? Or would you take the NCAA official report? You know what I mean? I think they stay with the free report. You know what I mean?
So you're satisfied with
the free was a former FBI agent.
But you're satisfied with the vacating of wins from 1998 to 2000.
Absolutely.
Okay. The second one is the change of uniforms. They're actually going to have nameplates on the back of their.
I think this was a long time overdone because, Purdue went to names in the back. You know what I mean? Penn State, with the ribbon changes, they're going to be wearing ribbons. Everybody in the Big Ten. Everybody in the Big Ten can wear the BIG logo. You know what I mean? I think that if you look at it here with Penn State, what they did, you know what I mean? I think this is the best decision best decision. You know what I mean? It's going to be the first time, I don't think, in a long time. Penn State's had a long time as a football program. I think that they're going to put names in the back.
Do you think this is all being done to try to distance themselves from Joe Paterno?
I think it is because
because obviously Joe Paterno was a traditionalist.
And of course this is the 21st century. You know what I mean?
They're trying to get back into
the future of Penn State football.
But obviously the question is, are they trying to, with the uniform changes, trying to distance themselves further from the Sandusky situation, from Joe Paterno in general?
Yeah, but also you got to make sure the tradition, you know what I mean? Tradition's still there at Penn State. You know what I mean? They might keep it. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Obviously, when you look at tradition at Penn State, you cannot erase Joe Paterno's name completely.
Nope.
From it.
Nope.
Because there's no, he did do a lot for Penn State.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just, he's part of that tradition at Penn State, though he did do a very big mistake.
Yep.
And you can't take him away from that Penn State tradition.
No.
Then the last topic about Penn State was the I'm trying to think what it was. I think I forgot it.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay. Well, let's go to the call-outs for this week.
Yep. First one I'm going to call out is the Stadium Drive Elementary principal and of course the Lake Orion Special Teams coordinator. Name is John Blackstock. John Blackstock, what? You got to look at here, you're from Bad Axe, Michigan. I have a summer home in Caseville, Michigan. You bash Caseville every time I come in there because you think Bad Axe is better. I think Caseville's better. Even though Caseville is starting to get an 8-team league back, 8 football, their football teams back. I think if you look at it, if Bad Axe and Caseville played, I think Caseville beats Bad Axe.
Ooh.
I think they do because you got to see it here to imagine what it is. You're a good coach, good man, but I question your Huron County loyalty. That's what it is. The second guy I'm going to call out, Oakland Press sports writer, huge beef with him, name is Scott Bernstein. Scott Bernstein, why? Let's go into March Madness of the state playoffs. You picked Rochester to win over Lake Orion. Let's go with the regional district at Lake Orion. You picked Waterford Mott to win that, and Lake Orion won it. Scott, I don't know if you have a beef with Lake Orion. I don't know. I mean, I'll be very curious to see in your football preview show what you think of Lake Orion. I'll be very curious to see that. But you got to give Lake Orion some love, please. You know what I mean? You're up in the press box in baseball. You gave Lake Orion love there. But in other sports, please give Lake Orion the love it deserves. Please, I'm begging you. The third I'm going to call out is a good friend of mine. Have a huge beef with him. He's known as Hoorah, baby! And Shira She-Ra, why? You have a channel named after you? Up in the thumb area, channel 293, in the thumb area. I mean, like, it's a good reason. I think I'm a better miniature golfer than you, even though the record didn't show it. I think that, you know, you have like a great catchphrase, and you know, I'm the real Mr. Sandy Dunes. I am the real one, and of course, you're known as the She-Ra, which of course has a classical beat of hoorah baby, hoorah baby, hoorah baby, I'm the She-Ra. You know, if you look at it here, She-Ra, I think if I played you in a rematch, I think I beat you. I will beat you. You know, I think that there may be better experts than a She-Ra. I think so.
Wow.
Leave it at peace.
Wow. That's cold.
How is that cold?
You bashing the She-Ra like that. You are aware that he could probably come on the show and say hello and sit with you the entire time, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Well, of course, I'm really happy. Send a special shout out to the Caseville football team for their coming back for the first time in 22 years.
Also, personal shout out to the Lake Orion football team. Got to see your practice yesterday. Thought you guys looked really good. I feel something special will happen this year. Lake Orion football. Chris Bell. Coaches, Dave Tooley, Coach Blackstock, Coach Jennings, Coach Mishak, everyone else, keep up the good work. All right, that spells it for this week's show of Between Taorminas on ONTV. We'll see you next week sometime. God bless.